Good morning. Good morning to those coming in now. So glad to have you on this lovely Wednesday morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. As you come in, I wanted to start just reflecting on the mother figure in your life, as we're going to be talking a lot about these relationships today. So good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Grab your coffee, grab whatever you need. Let's get to it. Good morning. Good morning.
Peace and blessing, Xavier. Good morning, family.
Good morning. I know that voice. I didn't even need to look at the name, but good morning. Facebook family still coming in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Brother X.
Good morning. I know that voice as well. Good morning to the Zoom family. See that K Sweetness we have in the chat. In the Zoom space. Teresa. Good morning. Good morning. Adam. Good morning. Good morning.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Good morning to those still coming in on Facebook. Good morning. Good morning. Grab your coffee. Grab whatever you need to dive in to this quickie. It's a 30-minute session, and I'm looking forward to it. Good morning. Good morning. Althea, good morning.
Good morning.
I like that energy. Let's go. You just helped me a little bit. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mother to son. I'm sure there are a lot of people on here who have told their child, because I'm the mama. So I'm looking forward to getting into this today. I'm looking forward. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. It's time to wake up, everybody. It's time to wake up, everybody. Marie, good morning. Naomi, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's see who else is in here. Abimbola, good morning. Abimbola, good morning. Those still coming in on Facebook, good morning. Candace, good morning.
Blessings.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Absolutely. Good morning. Good morning.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healed healing, we're growing together, together, releasing, we're teaching, we're moving together, together, we're learning, discerning, we're striving together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming together, together.
All right, family. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I just put this in the chat, but I really think that somehow, some way, we have to make that song a ringtone. Like I know it's, some people have songs when someone calls. I would love to make this song like a ringtone or an alarm. But I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome to those on the Zoom space. Welcome to those that are on Facebook. You came here today to talk about mother to son. And first, before we get into this, I want to acknowledge something. As someone that was raised by a single mother with two older brothers, one younger sister, having recently met my father, I also understand that it takes a village to raise us at times. So I did move out of my house when I was 14 years old and moved into a foster care / scholarship program. I was also in the Big Brothers Big Sister program where I had another mother figure. And so all that I want to say for this reason, I'm very aware that not everyone still has their physical mother here. I'm also well aware that there are others that play a motherly role in our life that may not be our biological mother. So before we dive into it, I just want to take a brief moment of silence just to acknowledge and just to represent the energy and the spirit of those who do not have their mother, just so we can still bring them into this space. So just a brief moment of silence. Thank you. All right, my first question is this. So the title, it says, in the title, the quote I have is, because I'm the mama. So growing up, anytime you would ask for an explanation, whether that was, why are we going here? Where are you going? Why are we doing this? My mom would always say, because I'm the mama. That was the rationale for everything. So if those are words that you yourself have used, I want you to type in the chat, that's me. So if you've ever used that phrase, because I'm the mama, I want you to type in the chat, that's me. There should only be half, if we have men saying, because I'm the mama, which we have seen cases like that before, that's okay too. But if that is you, if you've ever said, because I'm the mama, I want you to type that in the chat. All right, see Veronica, she said, that's me. But Veronica, could you take yourself off mute and give me an example of when you would use that and why you would say that?
When my children were younger, I had memberships for all the museums. So I would make them get dressed on a Saturday morning, make some sandwiches, some juices, and take them to, for example, Museum of Natural History. And they hated it. They never wanted to go. They were never willing. And they would say, well, why do we have to go? Why? And I said, because I'm your mother. And that was it.
Yeah. And
today they always say they were glad that I forced them to do the things that they did.
Yeah. Go ahead. Thank you for bringing that into the space. What I want to acknowledge about that, and the truth of what I've learned about it as an adult now, is that there is a privilege to motherhood. There's a privilege. There's certain privileges that come along with motherhood. Understanding that whether you are a man, boy, black, white, it does not matter. The passageway to life comes through the canal of a woman. And so there are certain privileges and certain things that come along with that. There's also certain pressures and challenges that come along with that. Namely, when we have children and we're building and developing those relationships. It's even more difficult as a woman. I am projecting based on my own experience when you have sons. And so what I want us to do, I'm going to type a question in the chat. And after I type the question, I am going to get some responses, but I want to hear from two people for two people that would like to expand on their response related to their son or their son-like figure. So the question that I want to ask is, what are 3 things that you do to hinder the development of meaningful relationships? What are 3 things that you do to hinder the development of meaningful relationships? What are 3 things that you do? One of my things I wrote was isolation. But what are the 3 things that you do to hinder the development of meaningful relationships? What are 3 things you do to hinder the development of meaningful relationships? And while we get some responses, I'll say, Zakia, I noticed you responded to the earlier prompt about the phrase, because I'm the mama. You said you don't use it often. It's usually when the challenges become frustrating, annoying, and obnoxious. I have been the frustrating one, the frustrating child. I have been the annoying one at times. I've probably even been the obnoxious one at times. So know that your privilege allows you to sometimes say, because I'm the mama. All right, Zakia, also I see you brought in my challenges were and are more with my daughter than with my sons. And Zakia, I also want to acknowledge as well that there are strong correlations between the relationships with a mother and a daughter, and the mother and the son. And that's why I wanted to make this question open-ended. So Zakia, could you come off mute and let's try to talk through the 3 things that you feel hinder your relationship? And then I want to call on one more person into the space.
Greetings, family. I would say the first thing is I enable her. I have been enabling her since she was young, because I felt a responsibility which wasn't actually mine for the fact that her father abandoned us, and she was closer to him than I was. So she projected that it was my fault that he left, and I took it on. And so I allowed her to do a lot of things that I otherwise would not have allowed her to do. And that created a really strange dynamic between the 2 of us. So that's the first thing. I guess probably connected to that is that my defense mechanism has become ghosting, shutting down. So when the conversation goes somewhere that's making me extremely uncomfortable, I just shut down. I don't speak up. I don't speak my mind. I haven't been. I've been getting better at it, but for quite a while, I just shut down. I did that about pretty much everything for a long time, but with her it was the worst because she would go on the attack on a regular basis, and I just shut down. And let's see, the third thing.
I have a quick question about the first one. So I was listening for a connection between one of the items that you mentioned and the specific example that you brought up with your daughter. And just so I'm clear, it was regarding her father?
Yes.
Okay. And my question to you is, it sounded like there was a disconnect between her perception of her reality, her reality and your perception of her reality. Meaning, it sounds like she felt a certain way about things that that y'all may not have seen the same way. Is that fair to say, just generally speaking?
Yeah, she
Okay.
was 6 when he left, and so she was looking at it from a 6-year-old daddy's girl's perspective.
Gotcha. And so the reason why I say that is because I want to frame it with this. I personally have been in situations where I'm having a conversation with someone, whether that's my mom, who we've gotten a lot closer as an adult, to be able to have conversations about hurts and pains and things from our childhood. And one of the things that I acknowledge that we've had to do most consistently is we have to talk about the real, but also the feelings behind the real. So sometimes it's not, I'm sorry. So sometimes it's not saying I'm sorry for what I did, because I may not feel like I did it. Sometimes it's, I'm sorry that you feel this way, or something I did made you feel this way. And so I wonder if the defense mechanism that you've acknowledged that you have, that may also be apparent in your daughter as well. I wonder if you feel that is something that is creating too much conflict towards developing a really meaningful, healthy relationship. Like, talk to me about how you feel like that defense mechanism plays a role in understanding each other's emotional responses.
Probably, most likely.
And when you say probably, in what way?
When I shut down and I don't voice my opinion, she continues to see it the way she sees it. I don't give her any reason to see it any differently, because I just shut down.
And when you shut down, is your purpose to escape the moment? Is it to escape the conflict, or is it to preserve the assumed goodness of the relationship moving forward? Meaning, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to cause any problems.
I guess a combination. Flight is my defense mechanism. I disappear. I just shut down, and it's because I don't want things to get any worse. So yeah. Combination.
Yeah. Okay. So so one of the things that I typed as you were saying, as you were talking, was the BCBU rule, and that's something I like to use and implement for myself, is to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Right? Because we know that growth only happens through struggles, and these are things that you already know. Right. So this is not a session where I'm telling you many things that you don't know. This is really to hopefully have a dialogue that when we finish talking, or when we get off, it may raise a light bulb to say, hey, you know what? I think I can identify what the problem is here. I may be able to fix it. So just know that So just know that is what I believe, that you are more than capable to do what needs to be done in this relationship. But defense mechanisms are real. Defense mechanisms are real.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you for bringing your story into this space, and I would like to bring someone else in.
Or there's a comment here, a couple of them actually, from Sweetness. She says, I don't answer the question directly. I have facial expressions that speak for me that give off the wrong impression, not interacting intentionally at times. And Teresa Scott says, listening more, prayers more, trusting the pro. Jacqueline says, my apologies if you hear the garbage truck outside. Jacqueline says, allow myself to be offended, victim or martyr, and harbor resentment, take things personal. I make assumptions, judgment. And Denise drops in from Facebook from Martine. Martine says, lack of boundaries and honest communication about issues, lack of awareness, too transparent. And LG Stylo says, did not set boundaries, project my fears on my son, did not provide emotional support. And okay, there's two more. Jem From Facebook says, keeping myself is mainly what I do, minimizing contact when I do interact, not getting too involved. And Teresa Scott says, trusting the process.
Thank you. So thank you for that, Kenyofu. So I sort of synthesized some of what Kenyofu was saying and was looking for trends. And one of the things that I noticed, the biggest trend is teaching people how to treat you. Teaching people how to treat you. And in this conversation of mother to son, the nature of teaching people how to treat you is so important, whether you are the mother in this case, whether you are the son, whether you're the parent, or whether you are the daughter. So that was one trend that I heard, is teaching people how to treat you. The second thing I heard, and sounds like something that we all struggle with, and it may not be easiest for us to accept and to hear, but a trend that I'm noticing is we have to figure out how we say, I'm sorry. We have to figure out what is our way, what is our means, our method of showing contrition. And then what is our method and our mean of receiving contrition. And then the final piece of that is, what is our method when we don't receive it at all? How do you deal with knowing that there's things that you are doing properly and the relationship that we are that you are focusing on is still not working out? That's another piece. And then the final thing, the final piece from a trend perspective that I noticed, and I so appreciate one of the last comments Teresa said, trusting the process. It's something simple, but the third word that I wrote that ties with trusting the process is we have to be intentional. So the three things that I heard from that we will go through a little bit now is teaching people how to treat you, how to say I'm sorry and receive sorries, and how do we be intentional about managing the relationships around us and about managing our own inner conflicts. So teaching people how to treat you, that's something that I want to start with first. That's something that I want to start with first. So K Sweetness, I would like for you to come off mute, and I just want to have a quick conversation with you. And as they come in, I will read something that they said. So it says, I don't answer the question directly. I have facial expressions that speak before me that give off the wrong impression, not interacting intentionally at times. And then there was another piece, a final piece from Sweetness that says, I don't want to apologize for someone else's feelings about what I have done to encourage that feeling. So Sweetness, if you could come off mute, and specifically, I want you to give me a little bit more insight on how you feel teaching people how to treat you would change or adjust your perspective of what you're dealing with.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Can you say that one more time?
I don't understand what you're saying to me.
Gotcha. So in terms of teaching people how to treat you,
yes.
Do you see that, one, do you see this as something that would be a benefit to you, and two, how do you see teaching people how to treat you play out in your interactions and your relationships?
Teaching people how to treat me. I think that I spend energy on teaching people how to treat me.
Did you say you spend too much energy?
No, I spend energy. I spend energy on teaching people how to treat me because I've learned and I believe that it's important to teach them how to treat me, and more so the way I treat myself, I think speaks volumes to other people that can give them some type of, guide on how to treat me. Communication with my sons is very challenging for me. And that's why I put those three things in the chat, because those things tend to get in the way of us communicating.
Yeah, and I can speak to that personally. My relationship with my mom, that is, I'm definitely grown a lot of ways over the years and recently. I appreciate you bringing that truth into this space. In terms of communication with your son, Do you mind sharing a little bit more about that as I talk a little bit about my experiences, and maybe there's some similarities that we can talk through?
Well, yeah, I think that because you shared already is why I was finding the similarities. And so I wasn't feeling alone with the issues with my two sons. I have two grown sons, 35 and 44, and we both have different communication issues. However, of course, it's me. The problem is me and how I say what I say and that I don't listen. And then more importantly, this morning is me accepting my youngest son saying, I'm not taking responsibility for what I do and how he feels when I don't feel that I'm responsible for how he feels about things that I've done. So if I've done something to offend him, then I apologize for it. However, he wants me to, I don't know, get into how it has impacted him and listen to how it has impacted him, for months and months and months. And I haven't surrendered to that. I don't see the benefit of that. And so now he doesn't even talk to me because I'm not ready to continue to hear how it impacts him.
When you say you
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand exactly.
Okay.
I overstand it because I'm thinking about
great.
my own personal situation that I definitely I'm going to get into. When you said it's because you're not ready to listen to listen consistently about these sort of impacts. Is that an active decision on your part, or are you saying that's your son's perception of your actions?
Well, no, I'm saying to me, it's therapy time. It's been years. So, if, we've talked about it, I can see how it's impacted him. And so when I don't know if he has some type of issue with having to periodically revisit that. And I'm saying I'm working on something else right now. So,
Gotcha.
I've moved on. I'm not negating that it had some negative impact on him. However, every 3 years, you want to spend some time with that and have me listen to it. And I didn't find myself available emotionally to do that. I didn't see the benefit of it. So, you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if one of the benefits of emotionally diving into the situation deeper, if the main benefit was better communication with your son, do you think that would be worth it?
I think that it would be, I don't know. To be honest,
it's okay not to know.
Yeah.
It's okay not to know. The last question that I'll ask related to this, and I think this is very important because measuring success or measuring our quote unquote goals, for example, if a goal is to improve communication, it's how do you measure success of that? And so from my experiences with my mother, one of the ways I've developed a way to measure and gauge that success is how consistently we're able to talk about difficult conversations. And that has a lot to do with what you already brought into this space, which is communication styles can truly hinder relationships. And there's one concept that I believe is applicable probably to 99% of the people on this call, whether you're on Facebook and whether you're on Zoom. So I'm going to share that in a minute, but I just wanted to highlight the importance of understanding that if your communication style is different than the other person's communication style, whether you are a mother, a son, or daughter, or friend, a spouse, it's going to be difficult to develop that relationship. I've always firmly said, if you can't connect, you can't communicate.
Yes.
As an educator, as a leader in anything, anytime it's the same thing I've imparted onto teachers. If you aren't teaching, if they aren't learning, you aren't teaching.
Right.
If I have a TV and the plug, the TV won't, and I'm holding the plug in my hand, the TV won't turn on unless the plug is connected to the wall, because it's not even able to receive the signal.
Right.
And so that's something that we have to understand, is that if you can't connect, you can't communicate. That's why in education, it's important to meet kids where they are. If I have a room full of 20 students and I'm teaching one class without having any data or information that tells me that 30% of the class is here, 30% of the class is here, I won't be tending to the individual needs of the class. And so that speaks to the truth and the power of connecting first. You have to figure out, how can I connect with said person? How do I connect with my supervisor? How do I connect with my constituents, the people I serve, the people I lead? How do I connect with my spouse, with my son, with my daughter? That is a daily, that is the equivalent to me of active and actionable love. Love is not a thing. It's something actionable. It's a daily choice. I have to choose to love you every day, because every day is not going to be easy. And so what my choice of love looks like today, it may not be what my choice of love look like tomorrow. But the one consistent thing is that every day I'm going to choose to love you. And that every day I'm going to choose to try to identify new ways to connect with you. Because I know that if I can't connect, I can't communicate. So thank you for bringing that in, for bringing your truth into this space, because it so ties with mine. And the final thing I'll share, because it is 7:30. And before I share this, I want to also highlight that there will be a 90-minute session on this topic, mother to son. There are some things specifically that I know time wouldn't allow. But I just want you all to know that there will be a follow-up 90-minute session from this, just because there's so much to unpack. So I will close with this, and then I want to bring in one person and one comment to follow up. This concept started in a relationship that I was in, and as I developed into manhood and understood the need to improve the relationship with my mother. I think the world of my mom. When my mother smiles, I feel like the world is okay. When she speaks, it's just something about the vibration of her voice that just brings me so much tranquility. So that's the first thing, Teresa. Okay, thank you. That's the first thing. The most important thing is the lesson I've learned from relationships that taught me what the real problem is, what my real problem is. And I think many of us has the same problem. So as I'm talking about this one thing, if you believe this is something that that connects with you, I want you to type, "That's me." So here's what it is. I've learned that one of the most frustrating things to me in a relationship, in a friendship, in a business well, not necessarily business partnership, because that's less emotional or less emotions. But it's the concept of trusting someone with the keys to your emotion. So if you're in a relationship, I'll use a relationship and extend it to the mother to son concept. In a relationship, if I feel like I can't share my raw emotions with you about something, and I feel like there's a response to not what I said, but something else, over time, I will start to feel like I can't trust you with the keys to my emotions. I can't trust you with telling you this information, because you're gonna you may feel, or you may think this when it's something different. With my mother, one of the things that I learned is I want to be able to tell you, to communicate with you with this new style of communication that I learned, because I grew up in an all Black environment, and then was pretty much switched to an all white and completely different environment for high school, and then went to college, and it came back with just very different styles of communication. And so it's important to acknowledge those differences, because I had to accept and understand that the reason why there's been such a large disconnect is because I could not trust certain people with the keys to my emotions. I could not trust them with my truth, because not everybody deserves my truth. I could not trust them with what's happening in my life, because not everybody deserves to know what's happening in my life. I couldn't trust them with having certain conversations, because you can't trust everyone with certain conversations. I see Deborah saying that's me. And so I want to drive home the point that we have to ask ourselves, who is it in our lives that we cannot trust the keys to our emotions with? Who would I not give the keys to my emotion to? And the other question, the final question I'll leave before I bring in Teresa, the final question is, who cannot trust me with the keys to their emotions? If I have a son, if I have a daughter, ask yourself the real question: can they trust me? Can they trust me with the keys to my emotions? That is a real question that we have to ask ourselves. And it's something worth reflecting on. So Teresa, before you come in, I just want to say that one more time to let that sink in, because that is by far, to me, one of the most important things that we should take away from the session today. Who is it in my life, if I had to guess, if I had to really think about it, who at this point cannot trust me with the keys to their emotions? Teresa, you can go ahead and come off mute.
Last year, me and my son had a big, like a really, like not almost a physical fight. And that's the first time I actually really felt like literally fighting him. And, you know, we said a lot of stuff he said a lot of stuff to me. And I said, well, at first he was saying everything to me. And then I just flipped and I just started giving him back everything. But then something said to me, it was like, Teresa, like, how are you helping a situation? And what I realized is that he needed to say all of that stuff to me, and I needed to listen. And he said a lot of stuff to me that was very painful, but he needed to say it because I didn't really listen to him. And that was the first time that I heard him in all this time. You know, it was like he was going around stuff and he was saying things. And then I said to him, I said, son, some of that stuff might be true and some of it might not be true. But what part of that are you going to take responsibility? Because I'm taking responsibility for the part that I played in. And yes, I did do those things to you. And what I realized too, Xavier, is that I was 16 when I had him. And I was traumatized myself having a baby. And then it was just a lot of stuff that was going on that I realized that I was not the best parent for him. I had to say I was not the best parent for him. I didn't love him. I didn't hug him. It was a lot of stuff I did not do. And that was the first time that I actually really looked at myself to say, hey, Teresa, you did not do it. I mean, thank God our relationship is much better now. But there's times when it does get tumultuous, but it can get challenging. But what I realized is that me having my opinion about it and me just being quiet and really being quiet, my thing is it came to me like trust the process, like saying to myself, trust the process has helped me and him, because it is a lot what our sons are dealing with, period, out here in the street. So to have not to be able to communicate with us, and I constantly tell him, you know, son, I love you, son, whether it looks like he's progressing, son, you know, I just tell him positive stuff. Son, I think you're the best son that I ever had, you know, and I speak life to him. And he was like, thank you, Mom. Sometimes I'll text him, I was like, you know, son, you're the best thing that God ever gave to me. And but it took me a time to get that place. And I'm 62 years, 62, learning these things now. And my son is 46, but it's never too late. But I just speak life to him. And I just tell him, you know, I'm so proud of you. You know, you're the greatest father that I ever seen, you know, and I just tell him stuff like that. And it took me a long time, but I have to, because I didn't have no one speaking life to me. Right. And so, and I want my son whole. I want him to know that he could trust me. There's times when, you know, he'll say, Mama, stop telling my business. And I didn't realize that I just like to talk a lot. And sometimes I didn't listen. And so he's like, Mama, don't tell my business. And I said, okay, son. So he was like, I said, well, tell me how to do it. Just tell him. My son said he don't want nobody knowing his business. So I said, and my son said he don't, because I really did not, I could not think something simple as my son didn't want nobody to know his business. So a man child, and a girl child too, needs you to be able to trust them with your stuff and keep your mouth closed. And it is challenging because you want as a parent to try to fix it, but you can't fix everything, because what I realized is that I can't even fix myself. So how can I'm having issues. I'm trying to fix my own self. So how can I fix myself? And I feel less stressed, less aggravated. You know, like he shared something to me, you know, that was kind of rough the other day about his personal business. And I was like, wow, that's deep, you know, but even him saying, you know, I would have told you so, Negro, but I ain't say that, because that's not going to help him. Right. You know, like, and sometimes as a parent, you do want to protect your child, but You can't not protect your grown sons. You have to let them figure it out, but you can still love them in the midst of that, and it's a process, believe me. Oh, it was years. And I'm very proud of where, I've grown as a mother because I had to let him. I had one day he said so much. He said so much, Xavier. I was like, if this MF say something else again, I'm gonna punch him in his face. But he needed to get that off his chest. And it was years of him holding and not, but I listened, but I didn't want to. I came in my room, I was crying because I couldn't believe that he was saying that to me. But it's working, because he needed that, because he didn't have anyone that he could say everything to,
Yeah.
and so that was the first time he said a lot of stuff to me, and I just took it. It was hurting, but I took it. I had to take it.
And thank you for everything that you said. And I was typing a couple things that I want to highlight. Here's some key things that I heard you say, and I'll talk to him about them briefly before we close out. You said, I realized. You said, and one of the very first things you said after you talked about the conflict with your son, everything got better. Like you spent more time talking about what got better after you said those two words. You talked about the moment where you got into it and he said some things, and then you said, I realized, and after that, the story just took off. And so what I want everyone to understand, and what I want you to understand, is the power of the I. The power of the I. You came to a realization somehow, some way, that allowed you to then adjust your behaviors to make it more impactful for your son. You started showering him with love, telling him you're the greatest son ever, you're the best father ever. Those are actionable things that you did as mom, as mother. Then there's also things that you did that you also may have to take accountability for as well, that you will have to reflect on. And one of the images that I think about in my head, and I hate to be morbid with this example, but I'm thinking of if I'm on a boat, on a cruise with my mom. First, that's probably not going to happen because she ain't getting near water and all of that. She probably not happen. So I feel safe using this one. If something happens and one mom goes, just falls off the boat and goes into the water, even if I couldn't swim, I'd be damned if she's not going to see me try to save her. And if that's me going with it, then so be it. But you are going to see me try. Even if I know from the beginning that I may not be able to, you're going to see me try. Because the two things that every single person can control, barring an intelligible or neurological disability that impacts your ability to control your movements, there are two things we can always control. I tell my students this, any students I've taught, any student I've coached, any teacher I've taught, any leader I've worked with, two things you can always control: your attitude and your effort. Your attitude is how you respond to what happens to you. Your effort is your willful desire towards doing something specific. So if your son or your daughter or if your spouse says you're not giving effort or you're not trying hard enough, what that means is they may feel like they're drowning and they just want to see you jump in. They may just want to see you try. Sink or swim. So sometimes that is the most important thing we can do with our relationships, with our family, especially our sons and our daughters. I'm speaking as a son. Sometimes we just want to see you try and do what Teresa noted that she's been doing, showering with that positive, those positive affirmation, that love. With all the privileges that motherhood comes with, it also comes with the responsibility of bearing the truth, the weight, the ugliness of things that are your fault and things that are not your fault. So even if this problem exists, you know what? I'm gonna wrap my arms around you and I'm gonna hold you until one of us figures out how to get this solved. But I'm not gonna let you go, because if I let you go, there's somebody out there. There's somebody out there that will give you what you need from me, and you will look for it in all the wrong places. So with that being said, I want to encourage each one of you on both platforms to know that the two things you will always be in control of are your attitude and effort. and accepting the responsibility to show that effort is one of the most worthy goals on a daily basis in your relationships. So thank you for the many. Yep.
Before you close, I know you've been trying to do that for a minute. It is 7:44, but there's a comment that I think would be great to have addressed, and it comes from Stacy McLean, who is in Facebook right now, and she says, "I don't want the keys to anyone's emotions." Submit. That sounds like there might be some clarification there.
Yeah. So I would then ask a question. So if you're saying I don't want the keys to anyone's emotion, you have to understand that sometimes it's not a choice. When it comes to relationships that mean something to you. So if you are in a relationship with someone, or if even as a daughter or a son, you embrace by default, in my opinion, the emotions of someone else. You carry the weight and the burden of essentially being responsible for how you respond to someone else's emotions that you care about. If I'm having a conversation with Kenyofu, like first I'll say from one of the very first time that I met Kenyofu, I just thought she was such an amazing person, right? It was her spirit, it was her energy, it was her speech patterns, just the calmness that she speaks with. She's very cerebral. I know that. But if I say something that is upsetting, but if Kenyofu says something that is upsetting to me, that's frustrating to me, with me having this care about Kenyofu, I have to understand who and where the keys to the emotions are in this space, because that's what's going to allow me to fix that if I want to. And so we may not want to take or accept the keys to someone's emotions, but let's just say if we're married, I'm not married, never been married, but I would argue to venture to those who married and who are married, and you can give feedback, that there is a constant exchange of emotions on a daily basis. But in the marriage, I would assume you two concretely have the keys to each other's emotions. One of you just may drive the car off a cliff, or one of you may, that varies. So to that comment, I would just have more questions just to get clarifications on one, how it's perceived, how the keys of the promotion, I say promotion, somebody's getting promotion. I don't know if you in this chat are here, but somebody's getting promotion. But I would ask the question, clarifying what their understanding of keys to the emotion is, because I believe that sometimes it's not something we have a choice with, right? When we have children, if we have people we care about, it's something that naturally happens. So it's better to embrace it, accept it, and figure out how we can navigate it. And we may see it differently. We may not look at it as keys, but it's a car that we drive. Have you ever said, you drive me crazy, you're driving me crazy, you're driving me crazy? What are they driving? They're driving the keys to your emotions, and they're driving it off a cliff. So I hope that adds some clarity to that. And thank you for bringing that comment in from the other platform. One thing I'd like to share and add as well, Jacqueline said this, I read it earlier, but it's so important. So one of the things I posed in this chat, because I think it's important, as a facilitator, as a coach, there's a certain awareness of the things that I'm talking about. But I'm also very aware that of the many people in this space, you all have knowledge and insight that can help others. So I posed the question, asking those who had helpful things, had helpful items that they could share, to share them, and they did. And one of the things Jacqueline said was that she does that improves her communications with her children is this. She says, I apologize to my children. I ask permission to share. I'm gonna just pause on that one. She said, I ask permission to share. That's a whole session by itself. And I only share positive information now when I only shared the problems in the past. And that speaks more to strategy, being intentional about your relationships, understanding that not all relationships operate the same. So I wanted to bring that in because I do believe that there is power in knowing how to apologize, knowing how and when to ask permission to share, and being strategic about what you share, when you share it, and how you share it. You're not going to have the same tragic conversation with the with the second grader as you would a high school person. So thank you all for your vulnerability today, for your genuine and sincere engagement. And please know that there will be a 90-minute one. So I am not getting cursed out by anybody. So we will do a 90-minute session. So thank you.
There'll be no cursing out.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, tell us about your special offer. I have a winner for you, by the way.
Perfect. So this special offer, there's one complimentary 45-minute coaching session. The winner has 7 days to redeem the offer. So the reason why it's 7 days, because I want to get started on your growth as soon as possible. What I need for you to do for the winner is to send me a private chat with your email address.
Okay. The winner today is Darlene D4.
Darlene, congratulations, Darlene. We can show Darlene some love in the chat.
But somehow, I don't know why I knew you were going to call me. I don't have any kids.
It doesn't have to be specifically about kids. It can be a life coaching session, but you can also pass or donate the session as well to someone that you may know personally. So that's also an option.
Okay. Well, I'll accept. I'll accept.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn how to, when I get something to receive it, and I have sometimes difficulty in receiving. So I'm going to accept.
Okay, understood. Well, I'm glad you are receiving it, and all I need for you to do is to send me a private chat with your email address, and I will follow up with you right away.
Okay, let me find you. Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on to the contact information.
Contact information is in the chat.
Thank you, Denise, for posting that. Darlene, I have an email. Congratulations.
Xavier, can you share your contact information verbally?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So on Facebook, it is Xavier.Beckwith, Instagram at Mr. Coach Beckwith. Email is xbeckwith@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, join us Thursday, August 12th, for our very own Kinyofu is presenting tomorrow. This Little Child of Mine, Part 2. This Little Child of Mine, Part 2.
Yay.
Yes, amen, amen. So let's show some love for Kinyofu tomorrow. It is sure to be something to attend.
Thank you, Xavier. And so I don't know if there's any new members in the space today. I didn't actually look through the names. I'm looking now and I see maybe one name is new in my book. But if so, I'm not calling you out. I want you to call yourself out by typing in the chat. This is your first day, and then let this Woo community, this Woo Nation give you the love that there is to give. If you're out there on Facebook, you're not alone. You have the Facebook community that as well, guided by Denise, who will be glad to welcome you. So do say that this is your first day on Facebook. And don't let this be your only day here on Wake Up Everybody. Come back. Come back. We're here Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday for the long haul from 7 to 8:30 in the morning. And we're here on Monday and Wednesday for the shorter time frame from 7 to 7:30. So that's 5 days a week that you can get some wake up. And we're Zooming, with Zoom Live, we're streaming also on Facebook. So if you can't come into the Zoom space, you can catch us on Facebook. And you can also catch our replays on Facebook. If you want to be alerted every day about when wake up is happening, just to wake you up out of bed or to remind you wherever you are, open up your text right now, type in the to section, this number 74121, and in the comment section, write the word Woo Nation all together and press send, and you will be on the text list, automatic text list. And you all know that we have swag and we're adding to our repertoire. This is a slide to show what we have. And we have masks, and we have sweatshirts and t-shirts, and we have a mug, and we have this thermos. So you can get your swag at bit.ly/woo swag. And you can wear your swag and represent. So I ask you to stay in touch. You can register through Wake Up at bit.ly/Wake Up Movement. When you do that, you will be on our email list and you will receive who's up next. You will receive the bio of who they are, what they're talking about, and any other thing that comes through that's important to the Wake Up community. You also can join the Facebook page. So we have, I should say the Facebook group, because we have a page which is public and we have a group which is private, and you need to request permission to join the group. That's what this link is bit.ly/Woo community. And once you will land in halfway in the space, and then you will be admitted into the space. So we're on Instagram and YouTube, and we're developing that more. You can check us out there at the links that you see here. And we also have an email that you can communicate with us as info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. So go ahead and screen share this so you can have this information available. And I'm going to stop the screen share, and we're going to give our love to Xavier for this wonderful presentation. So, oh yes, I also need to take y'all off of mute. All right, come off of mute.
Thank you, Xavier.
Thank you,
Thank
Xavier.
Thank you,
you.
Xavier. Thank you so very much.
Appreciate
Looking forward to
you.
your return.
Xavier.
Thank you,
Come back.
Xavier.
Really
You're right. The
Without
conversation
Yeah.
just needs more time.
love or
Thank you, Xavier.
Thank you.
All because of
Really
Yes,
appreciate
it
you.
was excellent.
great.
Wonderful conversation. Thank
Very
you,
helpful.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
everyone that
Thank
assisted.
It was
you.
wonderful.
Thank you,
Hearing
thank
this, it
you.
evoked a lot of thinking.
Love y'all, family.
I
Love
can't wait for the
y'all. Love y'all.
90-minute
Love you,
session.
family. Love you, sweetness. Love you, Veronica.
Hey,
Love you,
Teresa.
Appreciate you.
Love
This
you,
was
everyone
amazing.
that's on here. I love your family. Mwah.
Love you
All
too.
right,
Happy
baby.
Bola, I'm seeing you. Bye.
Can't wait for the 90. Thank you all.
What
Yes.
day? What day? Love y'all. Love you, Candace. Love you, everyone that's on here. Love you, babies. Mwah.
So you come every day.
See y'all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Later, dog.